Good day and welcome to Wellywood Wargaming. My name is Damon and this is the series where I give you bite-sized chunks of information on the entirety of the Necromunda game, the best game that Games Workshop make. Before I get started with this one though, please do like, share, subscribe and check out the Patreon as well if you'd like to support me further. Right then, this one is a Delaque exclusive, the second best gang in the game if you ask me, after of course Cawdor. But Delaque, I love Delaque, and this guy, the Spyker, used to be, I believe, a brute and is now a hanger-on. The stats have changed a little bit. It's no longer the same as the old Spyker was, but still very, very good and an excellent hanger-on or just addition to your Delaque gangs here. The model is just fantastic, is available from Forge World, of course. This is the guy with the giant brain head that looks like it's about to pop, floating through the air and seriously looking like he's in quite a bit of discomfort. But a fantastic model to get from Forge World if you can put this together and you don't have fat sausage fingers like me and make an absolute pig's ear of it. But the Spyker, you can have 2 of these in your gang, by the way, and they are 90 credits, which I think is incredibly affordable for what they actually do in the game. A Spyker's stats are as follows. They are movement 6, weapon skill and ballistic skill 6+, strength and toughness 3, 2 wounds, initiative 3+, attacks 1, and the mental stats are leadership 5+, cool 5+, willpower 4+, which is exactly what you want this guy for, and intelligence 6+ as well, which is also nice to have. The Spyker comes with no skills, a Spyker carries no equipment, and he has the following special rules. So we have flight. First and foremost, this guy is flying, which means he can traverse all the terrain on the battlefield except go through walls, I suppose. And he's also part of the crew. So unlike a lot of other hangers-on, this guy starts the game on your actual gang. So he's playing in every game and, you know, acts almost like a brute. Like I said, this guy used to be a brute in the old version of the game. He's also a non-sanctioned Psyker, so is one of, if not the most powerful Psykers you can add to your Delaque gangs. And we're going to look at the reason why here. So the Spyker comes with 3 baked-in wyrd powers, which are exclusive to the Spyker and pretty damn good as well. However, there are some additional rules that I'll go through after this too, but no skills, just wyrd powers, and 3 of them are accessible from the off with your Spyker, and they are these. The first one is Psychic Scream, which is a basic. Any enemy fighters within 3 inches of this Psyker must immediately pass a nerve test, subtracting 1 from the result. Any enemy fighter that fails this test is immediately broken and runs for cover. Pretty damn good. Of course, 3-inch range does make it quite hard to use at times, but it's a good deterrent if someone wants to get really up close and personal. Of course, you're not going to be very good in close combat, but if you do get stuck in close combat, you can do that and hopefully it works, particularly if you get mobbed by Juves or something. Okay, so the next psychic power available to the Spyker, and I think the main reason why you're going to want to get one of these guys, is Psychic Assault, which is also a basic here. Nominate an enemy fighter anywhere within 18 inches of this Spyker. Note that says it doesn't have to be in line of sight either, which is very powerful. 18 inches is quite far on most boards. The nominated fighter must immediately take a willpower check. If the check is passed, the fighter is pinned. If the test is failed, the fighter loses 1 wound and is pinned. If this reduces the fighter to 0 wounds, roll an injury dice and apply the result. Very, very powerful. This is also a basic as well, not a double. So you can move around, you can fly around and get out of the way of things while you pop people's brains. And I've used this to good effect in many, many games. And I would say for 90 credits, that 1 wyrd power alone is worth it. It's just fantastic. I mean, even just pinning guys is incredibly useful. If you're pinning them and wounding them though, really, really nasty. Note, it's a willpower check, so it's better against some gangs than it is others. If you're playing against Ogryns, Goliaths, Corpse Grinders, this is fantastic. And those are the gangs you really want help with, I think. So that's Psychic Assault. The next one, and again, not particularly great, is Force Blast, which is also a basic. Any enemy fighters within 3 inches of this Psyker are immediately pushed D3 plus 1 inches directly away. If this movement would push a fighter from a platform or into a pitfall, stop at the edge and take an initiative test for them. If the test is passed, they're placed prone at the edge. If the test is failed, they will fall. If this movement is interrupted by a wall or any other impassable terrain, the fighter is immediately pinned and takes a hit with a strength equal to the number of inches rolled for the push distance. So again, it's more of a deterrent. If you're getting mobbed by Juves or whatever, you can use that just to push everyone away from you. It's nice and thematic and fluffy, but it's not actually that useful in the game, if you ask me. Mainly because you can fly, so you can just be in the air somewhere and not really get attacked much. So if you're taking advantage of your flying, then you shouldn't have to worry about that too much. But again, just to highlight, Psychic Assault is probably one of the best, if not the best, weird power in the entire of Necromunda, in my opinion. I think it's just fantastic. So now the other special rules, and these are quite interesting, came out with Apocrypha Necromunda. There was an Apocrypha Necromunda, which I actually did a narrative sort of battle report on. You can go and check that, of Corpse Grinders v Delaque, and that was a pretty good one. This is as follows. So during the choose crew step of the pre-battle sequence, any spikers may choose to use the following weird powers instead of those presented in Necromunda House of Shadow. And this is quite interesting because note you can have 0 to 2 spikers. So you could have one with the rules that we just went through, and you could have one with these ones as well. So you've got 3 different weird powers here as opposed to the ones we just went through. Of course, you know, 1 out of those 3 was great. Let's see how good these are, though, between the new 3. So we've got Crush, which is a basic. Target a single enemy fighter or obstacle that is both within 12 inches and line of sight of this fighter and make a hit roll using this fighter's ballistic skill, which is not very good, by the way. If a hit is scored, though, an obstacle is destroyed and removed from the battlefield. Very good for removing pieces of terrain that get in the way of your line of sight and stuff. You could use this in combination with some shooty boys. While an enemy fighter must make a save roll. If the save roll is successful, this isn't a misprint, by the way. If the save roll is successful, roll an injury dice and immediately apply the result against the fighter. So, no, it doesn't say anything about field armor, by the way, as well. But I think the fluff behind this is the better your armor, the more encased you are, and it crushes the armor around you and thus injuring the person within. So I really like the idea of this. So it's better against high armored targets. So it's better against Palanite Enforcers. It's better against that guy in heavy carapace armor and an armored undersuit. This is really going to ruin their day if, of course, you hit them. Now, that's the problem, that it is a ballistic skill check. If it wasn't a ballistic skill check, it would be very, very scary indeed. But I do think this is still a very powerful weird power, and definitely, you know, definitely worth thinking about whether you want to take this one or the others. The next one, though, is Witchfire, which is a double. So you can't move and do this. It is a double, unless you've got a tactics card or something. All enemy models within 3 inches of this fighter suffer a Strength 5, Damage 2, AP -1 hit with a weapon with the Blaze trait. So very nasty. Strength 5, Damage 2, -1 AP and Blaze. However, 3 inches and the double does make it very hard to pull off. However, when you do pull it off, it's just fantastic, right? Because even if you don't wound them with that Strength 5, Damage 2, heaven forbid, they're still set on fire as well. So pretty good. I'd say 2 out of these are okay. They're certainly better than the worst ones in the other version of the Spyker. The last one, and I like this one, is quite interesting. It's called Mind Maze, and it is as follows. Basic, continuous, target a single standing and active enemy fighter that is both within 6 inches and line of sight of this fighter. The target must make an initiative test. If the test is failed, they change their status to prone and pinned. Additionally, while this power is maintained, each time the target activates, they must make an intelligence test. If the test is failed, then any ranged or melee attack they perform during the activation suffers a -1 penalty to hit. 1 additional enemy fighter may be chosen as the target for this power for each friendly Delaque fighter within 3 inches of the weird that is standing and active. So a lot to think about there, but pretty damn useful. It's a basic and it's also continuous effect. So continuous effect means that you can keep on doing it each turn. And just keep annoying. I like it because it's just kind of one of those disruption powers. So overall, I would say that, you know, you've got 2 choices here. You can either take the 2 kind of crap powers with the 1 very, very good power on the Psychic Assault as the sort of default Spectre, or Spyker, should I say. Or you can take 3 medium, rare, decent powers. It really is up to you. Honestly, I do love Psychic Assault, though. I'd say it's arguably a bit too good at times. It feels pretty harsh, particularly against low willpower factions. But, you know, if someone's facing me with Corpse Grinders, I'm absolutely taking Psychic Assault on my Spyker. But yeah, food for thought there. You've got different versions of it. I love the fact that you can pick between 2 sets of 3 weird powers. Really, really nice. Of course, the extra rules that you can find for those latter 3 that I just went through are in Apocrypha Necromunda, and the copy of that is called Sump City Sinking, which I think is one of the first Apocrypha Necromunda issues. You can go and find that on the Warhammer community website. Just type in Apocrypha Necromunda. Hopefully it's still in there. I think it is. If not, email me and I'll send it to you. Not all at once, please, because I get enough emails as it is. But there you go. And the other rules, of course, can be found in the House of Shadow, which is the Delaque special book. So I think the Spyker is fantastic addition to every Delaque gang. If I'm playing Delaque, I'm going to always auto-include at least one Spyker. I just think they're brilliant. I think we'll talk about the Piscean Spectre separately because that is utterly broken, if you ask me. The Spyker is good, but not absolutely game-breaking. I still think it's very, very, very solid, though, an addition to your Delaque gangs. Anyway, I'm waffling already, so I will be back with another video on the end of this Hangers-On series real soon. Peace out.